see the way they hate. And I know better than to listen to the people who are calling us slaves. I can feel the sunlight shining in.
Well, good morning and welcome to episode 870 of the Lots Project Morning Show, where the coffee's strong, the opinions are stronger, and everything is always filter-free. I'm Brian, your host, and it's January 5th, 2026, first show of the new year. Welcome to 2026, everyone. This morning, I'm enjoying a fresh cup of the Survivor's Blend 8s series from the foodforestfarms.com. Because life's too short for shitty coffee, at Food Forest Farms, your beans are roasted by real human hands using a clean Airstream roaster. More than just a customer, your family. Get 10% off with code LOTS10, LOTS10, and shipping is always free. While you're there, check out C4 Club for even more awesome perks. But don't think you can find the Survivor's Blend, because that was a limited roast, and it's all done. But there are plenty of other awesome beans and blends over there at foodforestfarms.com. Check them out today. Today we've got a packed show. Cabin updates after a solid week of progress with Corey off from work. A look at the events in Venezuela, a bizarre Somali daycare story that was making headlines, but kind of disappeared with some events in Venezuela, and whatever other random topics pop up along the way. Grab your coffee, smash the like button, and let's get started. Good morning. Welcome to the new year. Mike's Homestead, thanks for popping in. Good morning to you, sir. Rewilder Life, good morning. I was just checking out your guess on the Bitcoin price just a minute ago, and we'll see in a second here when we talk about Bitcoin price. Hunter, good morning over there at Twitch. Happy New Year's, folks. Hope everything is going well with everyone out in the new year. If you made resolutions, it's the 5th. You probably broke them by now. I know I stopped making resolutions a long time ago. I am going to do a dry 30, I think, though, or dry January, or is that what it's called? I don't know. That whole thing where you don't drink for the month of January. Start the year off right, I guess. Why not? I did 12 years or so at one point, and 31 days should be not a problem. Hunter says hi from the wife. Good morning, Courtney. I hope you're doing well and your New Year's is going well. Did Hunter get you anything good for Christmas? Let's see. Let's get right into the Bitcoin contest, talk about that, and then we got a lot to talk about with the cabin, what we did, and then a couple of other topics we're going to bounce around too. So here we go, Bitcoin guessing contest, the Bitcoin price guessing contest. Right now we're looking at Bitcoin price at 6:04 a.m. on January 5th, 2026. We're looking at $93,118. $93,118. January 5th, morning of January 5th, 2026. Bitcoin ended a weird 4-year cycle. I don't know if the 4-year cycle has now been delayed or it's just all out of whack, but we did end up the year at a negative return, I think, for the first time in the 4-year cycle. In this year, so I have to go back and look at that whole write-up and get the exact read exactly what it was saying. But it's been a weird year for Bitcoin, so we will see. But anyway, that price 93,000. God damn it changed. Always changes in the middle of this. We'll go with this one. It's close enough. $93,076. Let's get to the guesses. My guess was continuing again from the week before, 95,959. Not close enough. Let's go down to the bottom. Low guesses. Scrambling was in at 86,555. That's a little too low. Blueberry, Texas was saying 88.5. That's also a little bit low. Pop up to the top here. We're getting kind of close to that actual guess. Pop up to the top. John Palmer went for the gold and said 101,234. Shot a little too high there, John. Canadian Farmstead, 99,999. Not quite. Had a couple pretty close guesses. The further one out, Palm Tree came in with a 95,000 guess. That's pretty close. That's within 2,000. But that wasn't close enough because Rewilder Life, sitting there in the live chat now, Rewilder Life guessed 92,500. and is a cool 500 and change off. Congratulations, Rewilder Life. I'll get your prize out to you immediately. Should be there right now. Anyway, thanks for guessing in the Bitcoin guessing game. Just like to keep track of the price, and we might as well have a little fun with it and guess what it's going to be next week. So if you want to participate in that, head on over to the Telegram chat after the show. There'll be a pinned post in the Telegram chat that has my guess and what the results were from this week. And you can just reply to that and make your guess for next week. And we will talk about it first thing on the show. So whatever you think the price is going to be on January 12th, 2026, head on over there and drop it in. Man, what is going to happen this week? I got to make my guess. I don't know. I have no idea. Let's go with a I'm going with 98,989,000. 98,989. 98,989 is my guess for next week. I'll get that pinned up post a little later this morning. So swing on by the Telegram chat at t.me/lotschat and put in your guess for next week. Bitcoin, man. I don't know what's going on. And I haven't had the heart to really dig in. I'm a hodler, so just stacking and see what happens. And same with silver. Silver's being a little weird right at the moment with discrepancies in different markets on the value of silver, and a lot of shenanigans going on, I think, behind the scenes with the paper silver market here in the U.S. And we'll see what happens. Long term on that. I'm keeping an eye on it. I have my conspiracy theories that I haven't really settled into quite yet, but we'll talk about them in the future, I'm sure, as things unfold in the silver market. This Survivor's Blend, man, I'm really happy for Scrambling, Brian Norton over at foodforestfarms.com. I'm really happy that he's walking and recovering and recovering in such such quick fashion and doing so well. But one bad thing about it was the Survivor's Blend, the aces and eights, and the eights particularly, I just enjoy immensely. It was a twin pack of limited time blends that he came up with after his plane crash, and he got back to roasting so quickly. It's phenomenal. The eights series, the eighth side of it is it's fantastic. And Brian started walking again, and it was all done. He had roasted a bunch and said, "That's it. I was only going to make it till I started walking." And he took those steps, and I was like, "Oh shit." Really happy. It's a torn feeling for me because no more of this fantastic coffee, this blend, and but he's walking, so he's a friend of mine, and anything to see him heal up is fantastic. But the little selfish part of me in the morning sipping on this fantastic blend of coffee is like, shit. He recovered too quick. I didn't want to see the guy be in a wheelchair the rest of his life, but damn, I could have got a little bit more of this fantastic coffee. Starting the New Year's right was thinking about everything everybody except me. Oh, I guess I'm thinking about only me. Why not? All right, let's talk about the cabin. It was a busy week for us. Corey had a significant part of the week off. She had to work a little bit, but we're normally getting like Friday and Saturday together to work together. A lot of the things a lot of the things in the build stage we're at right now is a two-person job, whether it be an extra set of hands, whether it be some extra muscle, just holding things or whatever. A lot of our stuff is two-person jobs, and I think after this stage, after we get metal up and we get rolling with that, there's a lot of single things. Like I can go out and work by myself and get a lot of progress done. But right now in this stage, there's just a lot of things that take more than one person. So when Corey's got a full schedule all week, my helper isn't around until Saturday and Sunday. And we've tinkered with trying to go out after work and do that. And with the site being like a half an hour from where we're at, and with walking the dogs and it getting dark so early, it just, at this point, it really just doesn't make sense to try to do that, to try to make that turnaround. To get everything out, to put everything away. We timed it one night, and it just, the juice isn't worth the squeeze on the hour round trip, which sucks. I wish like we sit here after work and in that limited little window and go, man, I really wish we could be doing something, but it is what it is. So with Corey having the week off, we really wanted to get some stuff done and take advantage of her time off. And it looked like it was going to be a beautiful week. The weather was going to cooperate. There was going to be one rainy day, which was fine because we had to do our normal stuff like laundry and grocery shopping and things like that. So we knocked it out. I was happy with how it laid out. I'll kind of go day by day. Not really day by day, but day by day, and see and let you know what we got done. So did the show last week on Monday. Shifted laundry day to Monday. Did all my show processing, did laundry, and just got that out of the way. Corey did have to work on Monday, and then a little bit on Friday. But Tuesday we got up and we went to see the metal guy. Before we were going to proceed with doing any window install, with doing any door install, with doing any more exterior, we wanted to go talk to him and really finalize the plan of how we were setting the windows related to the girts, how we were going to do trim, maybe order some metal, maybe see how that process goes, see if we could get a quote on getting the metal installed. It was a really good conversation. Some answers we really liked, and some answers we were like, shit. Stuff that I kind of had in the back of my head that was going to happen, but we'll see. We'll see going forward. Basically, our plan is going forward where we're going to put our windows behind the girts and then trim back to them. He didn't think that would be any issue at all coming up either with a standard trim that would work for that, or they also do custom bending of trim. As long as you can design it, they can bend it, and we can get it. We finalized kind of the colors and the scheme we were going to go with, and that we're going to do a two-tone, and the bottom where the crawl space is under the deck, under the main floor, is going to be a darker color, and then lighter color on the top, and then the trim is going to match all the wainscoting, I guess is what they called it. So that was a good trip. Out to see him, got our price on our metal, realized that we'll probably do it in stages. We'll order the trim, get all that up, and then order maybe one side at a time, depending on what weather looks like and what our work schedules are going to look like. So it doesn't sit around too long. He said it's perfectly fine to do that. And when we asked about install, he didn't really come out and say it full out, but from his demeanor, from what he said, it pretty much sounded like the installer is going to give you either a hard pass on this one, or basically give you an FU price, or give me an FU price on installing it. Like, just one of those things where it's a lot of the stuff that they don't normally do on just a normal pole barn install, with how many windows we have and just the custom nature of what we've done. That's a lot of work that that he really doesn't price into his stuff. He wants to show up. He wants to put the stuff up and bam, 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 slap together, be done and gone. Not dicking around with trim all day and messing around with that. So I'll give him a call regardless when the time comes. But also suggested that we might be able to scrape a guy from his crew or a guy that used to work for him or something like that, just one person to come out and help with the knowledge of what they're doing, like rent a guy for a day and learn some stuff and pay him to come out and help. So that's an option too. But that was the trip to the metal. It was a very productive trip. We were excited about that. And then we went out, we got some lunch. I talked about last week, we had tried a new Mexican restaurant down in Savannah where we go grocery shopping, and ended up smelling like BO when I got to grocery shopping at Walmart. And Corey ended up saying that she was smelling the same way. And I was a little disturbed by it. That how did I walk into, like, I was pretty sure it wasn't me that was smelling. And then after we went and talked to the metal guy, we were like, well, let's go back to that Mexican place, try something else. Try a different meal, or just, we like trying different stuff. Well, Corey likes trying different stuff at restaurants. I'm a kind of find what I like and eat that all the time person. And she's on a kick where she's trying something new every time she goes to any restaurant. But we were like, well, let's give the Mexican place another try. And so we swung in, and as we were walking through the parking lot, we could smell the onions. We could smell the quote unquote BO that infected our clothes. And we're like, okay, it wasn't us. We weren't the stinky kid at the store. It was actually the restaurant. We could smell it in the air outside. We still went inside, had a nice lunch, long afternoon lunch, had a couple beers, and wrapped up that trip, and gave Corey a little bit of vacation for New Year's. Ended up coming home that night. So that was Tuesday. Wednesday, we decided to go get some materials at Lowe's. We hadn't. So in our cabin plans, we have a 8x16 covered porch that's outside, but it's under the roof footprint. And we never did any flooring on it. Since it was going to be exterior, we didn't want to put normal subfloor. We were going to put deck boards. We just never got around to buying the deck boards. It was kind of where we were storing our windows. They were all just sitting on this on the joist there. It was ready to be finished. We just didn't ever pick up the material. So Corey said, why don't we get the material for that? We'll get that done. That gives us some place to walk and stand on. And then the whole actual floor covering, not the finished floor on the inside, but all the joists would be covered basically. I was like, oh, cool. I got some other stuff I got to pick up at Lowe's. Let's go make a run and we'll pick it up. I did some quick calculations on how many deck boards we were going to need. We ran down to Lowe's. And it's with our pickup and no trailer, we are limited in really how much we can carry. And so when we got there and we started loading the boards on the little cart after we did our shopping, I picked up all the supplies for windows also. That's what we were getting, deck boards and window supplies. We started loading the wood on the deck boards onto the cart, and I was like, man, we got about halfway of what we needed. And I was like, I don't know if we want to put more than this in the truck. We were buying 12-foot deck boards. 12-footers, I think. Yeah. 12-foot deck boards. Bed of the truck is like 6. We were going corner to corner and still had like 2 feet hanging out. So we're stacking them as diagonal as I could, as tipped as I could on top of the tailgate, and piling as much as I could in the corner there without it sticking too far out of the back of the truck to make it kind of wonky on the drive. Had about a half-hour drive to the property from Lowe's, and then in on the easement road, which it's holding up really good since the construction update. Road's holding up good, but it is still bumpy. It's a dirt road. It's a unrolled dirt road. It's holding up well. It's a little rough, which is fine. And I don't feel like I'm getting stuck, so that's the main goal. So I didn't want a whole lot of extra weight or extra fucking shit hanging out the back of the truck. So at half of the boards, we were getting 40 boards. Picked up 20 boards in the truck, and I said that's all we can get. So we're planning on going out. We're gonna unload those. And so we ran out to the property. We unloaded those, and shit, as we were unloading them, I'm walking with 2 deck boards, holding them, go to set them down in the covered tent. One slides off the other one, and somehow, out of a stroke of bad luck, lands right on the regulator that was screwed into the propane tank that I was using to run our big generator. Lands right on the top and snaps off the collar. So it was regulator, and then a collar like you have usually on your grill, like your propane grill that screws onto the propane tank. It lopped it off. It broke the plastic collar and ripped it off and broke off the part, the little penis that goes into the propane tank that kind of pushes in the ball that lets the propane out. And so it snaps off. The hose goes flying off. Propane, I didn't shut the tank off when we left. I just left it on because it was attached to the generator. Propane's going just whistling away. I'm like, holy shit. Corey hears it from out. She was out at the truck. I turn off the propane and I'm like, really? Really? I was able to use some needle nose pliers to get the piece out of the tank. And then I took the hose and I was like, I got to get a new hose. We haven't put any gasoline in any of our generators. So when we bought our generator to leave for the full-time RV, and we bought a Honda 2200, and I put a propane conversion kit in it, and it's never seen gasoline. I tested it with the propane and just never went back. The Champion tri-fuel generator we bought for the property, I used the propane hose. I plugged it in. We started it on propane. I've never put gasoline in it. And I'm like, fuck. Where am I going to find this regulator? So it came with it. So it's a regulator on one end and then a big old cam lock quick fit on the other end. So I grabbed the hose, I bring it home. I was like, I'll order one, see how much this shit's going to cost. I didn't think that the one fitting was proprietary. I didn't know if the regulator was proprietary to Champion, but I was going to do some part sleuthing when I got home. But anyway, that was a little sideways adventure that day. Got all the deck boards unloaded, and I looked at Corey, and she was like, well, what do you want to do now? It was kind of early in the day, and we needed another 20 deck boards. And I was like, I don't really want to go to Lowe's and come back to the property and then go home. So we're kind of like in a triangle where we're staying, the property, and then Lowe's is like a equilateral triangle. It's like a half an hour every direction, whether we go to Lowe's from home or go from Lowe's to the cabin or go from the cabin to home. It's all a half an hour. And so anyway, we decided that we're going to go back to Lowe's. We're going to buy the other 40. We're going to put them in the truck. We're going to go home. And then first thing in the morning, we were going to head out. So we're just going to be preloaded to go out. Went home, had a nice New Year's Eve dinner. That was New Year's Eve, I believe. Had New Year's Eve dinner at our local Mexican place and didn't end up smelling like BO, so that was nice. Had Mexican twice in the week, so finishing the year out right with some good ethnic food. So that was a good day and a bad day. I got home, I looked up the regulator, and looked at the hose, looked at kind of the fittings and everything, and realized that it was just kind of a generic 2-stage regulator, and that I could remove it from the hose and add a new regulator. Google searched the part number, found one, and it should be here today. Actually, ordered one up on Amazon, so about a week right now with the delayed holiday shipping from Amazon. So I'll get that put back together. I'll probably make a video of that, and just a bad luck. So anyway, next morning we headed out and unloaded those deck boards. Didn't break any more shit unloading the deck boards, and we went to town doing the deck, inside deck, I guess, inside outside deck, undercover deck, and knocked that out. We knocked that out on New Year's Day. Started it, finished it, got it done. Looks good. It worked out. Had some really wonky bent boards that we were able to kind of manipulate and get back to straight enough, I guess. Picked and choose through the boards. Had a few extra left over. I was glad I went over because there were some that we really shouldn't use. They were super wet, still pressure treated, super wet. So we're able to snug them up, and hopefully the spacing works out when they dry out. But it looks good. I was happy with the work. Corey helped quite a bit. We knocked that out, and that was our day on New Year's Day. We worked on our deck. So we got that done, and that went really well. That was Thursday. Friday was supposed to be super rainy. We had planned our grocery shopping day for that day. Ran to get groceries, came home, and we were just sitting here, and we're like, well, let's go check out this scaffolding. And I don't know if I've mentioned the scaffolding on the show or not, but the guy that does the road work out at the property, at his camper, at his property there, he's a part-timer there. He comes out for vacation. But he's got construction, he's got the equipment and things that he'll leave there or take back and forth. Well, out there he has a whole set of scaffolding that he used for his house and then brought out there, and it's just sitting out behind his camper. And I said, man, I would love to borrow that when we get to our windows, doing our windows, because with our crawl space and then our windows, the bottom of our windows are like 7 foot from grade. I think it's like about 7 foot, little under, maybe 6.5. And so I really wasn't looking forward to putting these 30 by 60 windows in on ladders with Corey. Love my wife to death. I love her to death. Do anything for her. She's not very strong, and she's short. 2 things I love about her: I can take care of her. She's short. She's easy to hold. But man, when it comes to strength and height, she's my wife, and I love her. But anyway, I wasn't looking to go up on ladders. Neither of us are crazy about heights and ladders, and I was just looking for a better way to do this. And so when he said he had this, when he said he had the scaffolding, everything except the planks, all the metal ends and cross braces, and then this and that, I was excited. And he said, "Yeah, you can use it forever, however you want, however long you want." And so we decided after groceries, it was raining. We're like, well, let's go out and check it out, because we were going to have to figure out how to move this back to our site. I hadn't even really put eyes on it. He showed me where it was. It was kind of under a tarp. So I just wanted to get eyes on what it was, how big the pieces were, and like how much was there, how heavy everything was. And so we took a trip out, and as we're pulling up to the property, I see his truck over at his camper, and I'm like, hey, he's here. Cool. Nice. He's usually only out on the weekends, but I guess with the holiday they came out early, and he was there on a Friday. So we go out and go over and check on the scaffolding. We're kind of looking at it and trying to figure out how much we need and how tall it is and blah 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 and all the parts, and kind of got bullshitting with him, and I said, oh, we're just checking out scaffolding, trying to figure out if we can get it in the bed of the truck with the topper on and this and that. And he's like, well, shit, I got a trailer hooked up to the truck right now and it's half empty. So why don't you throw what you need on there and I'll drag it back to your place for you and we can unload it and just be done with it. I'm like, score. Because I don't think it would have fit in the back of the truck unless we took the topper off. And I don't really want to take the topper off right now. That's a future thing once we get all the shit out of the bed of the truck. So anyway, we loaded up a bunch of scaffolding parts on his trailer. He dragged it back, helped us unload it, and it kind of worked out perfect. We were just going out to look at the stuff, and man, we got it delivered basically. So that was a great day. A lot of progress on a day that we were just going to get groceries and it was just going to be rainy. Weekend was supposed to look great, so we wanted to get a bunch done. We went out first thing on Saturday morning, got all that scaffolding set up, kind of figured that out. It's really nice heavy duty scaffolding with nice adjustable feet, and man, it's going to be and already has been a game changer. Only thing I wish is he had a few more feet, but he had only gotten it for a job that he needed, and so he only needed it would have been 3 of the panels wide, so two plank area wide and a bunch high, so he only had 6 of the feet. And so yeah, I really wish we could set it up for a whole side of the cabin at one time, but beggars can't be choosers, and this is a free rental. So we set up a section, and Corey and I have been moving it. We figured out a way to kind of pick it up and move it to where we needed it as we need it. So not ideal, but it works. And for the rest of the weekend, we've been using it, and it's been working out great. So basically, got scaffolding up. We rehung house wrap on that side. We the stuff that we had on to keep the interior dry while we were working on things had been ripped. It had been tore out of the staples and all sorts of stuff. So we ripped that off. We put new on all the way across, and then we started in on windows. Got one window installed that day, along with the house wrap, which was a good full day. And then yesterday we went back out and dug in on another window, and we wanted to complete the whole side. So this side we were working on would have 2 windows and an exterior door. Excuse me. And so we started on the door, and I said, let's dry fit the door. Let's put it in. And man, as soon as we put it in, it didn't look right. It didn't look exactly right. It looked a little off. And so started looking at it, started kind of thinking about it, and realized that we're missing a standard piece of that installation. So when we ordered the door, we ordered it for our stud width, but we didn't order it for how we were designing the exterior, like all the wall layers. And we were about a half an inch shy on what standard was. And so when we were putting the door in and putting the casing all the way to where it was going to set, it was a half an inch proud into the house, too far into the house. And it wasn't how it was supposed to be. Like the hinges actually were starting to be inside the stud line, so we weren't going to be able to screw through the hinge holes to hold the door in. And so we're looking at it, trying to figure out what was going on. And after a little while, we realized what was going on and tried to start making some spacers. Didn't really have the right material, didn't have the right tools to do what I wanted. And it was Corey's last day before she had to go back to work. We were looking at the clock and we're like, man, let's wrap it. I know what I need to come up with. I know what I need to do and how to fix it. I just need to have a little bit of time to go through some different options and come up with a plan to make it work. And so that's what we did. We put it on hold. We went home. We enjoyed a nice afternoon and evening together before back to work today. And I get to do the show and get back to my normal weekly routine. Corey back to her grind, and yeah, that's where we're at. So lots of, I shouldn't say a lot, got a little prep work to do this week on the window or on the door, and a few other things I'm going to tinker with that I can do by myself, and then back at it this coming weekend with Corey's help. We're going to hopefully get that door in and start working on another side of the cabin. So as of right now, we got 2 windows in out of 10, so 8 windows to go. We got, I would say, a half a door, half a door in. We got the tough part figured out. Just time to go through the motions of figuring out what needs to be done the rest of the way and get it installed. And the other one should be pretty easy because it's going to be the exact same setup, and so I'll already know what I need to do. And that is the cabin update. Been happy with the progress. Wish it was further along. Every day I wish it was further along, but I try to keep in mind the big delays we've had along the way with the road, with the weather. Just everything piles on all the time, and it is what it is. It really is. I can't. I feel like I want to stress about it and wish that we were there. I do really wish we were there. But it's going at the pace it's going, and at least we're making progress. So that's good. So that was a good week. It was a good week. I really appreciate her help, and moving into next year, she's got a lot of vacation days that she needs to use up over the year, but right now she's back at it, and we don't know when that next long work weekend will be. We're just going to be working on Saturdays and Sundays for now, and I'll be doing stuff on my own during the rest of the time, like clearing the solar field and planning all that kind of stuff. So time to get at it. Let's see, guys. Sponsor read number 1. Guys, 21% sale is over. If you didn't get in on that, I still think the Blockstream Jade and the Jade Plus are extremely extremely good values for the security that they provide. Bitcoin hardware wallets. If without that hardware wallet, you're susceptible to online hot wallet, your phone getting hacked, maybe the multi-currency software wallet you use has a vulnerability, not in the Bitcoin side, but maybe in accommodating for some of the alt shit coins that are on there. Maybe somebody backdoors into the software wallet and gets access to your Bitcoin. Not saying it's going to happen. I'm saying it has happened. Who knows who figures out how to do what. But man, if you got a Blockstream or Jade Plus, you need to have that physical device to send anything out of the wallet that is linked to it. So a nice piece of two-factor authentication, actual two-factor authentication, where you have to have that physical device in order to authorize that transaction. I don't necessarily think that you need to solely look at a Jade. I encourage everybody to do their own due diligence and look at all the options, all the hardware wallet options, and you can make your decision for yourself. But I recommend the Blockstream Jade and Jade Plus. I've used both. I currently use the Jade Plus. Got that right here. And I also have my original Jade backup on a different wallet there, right here on the desk. I've been doing a little bit of video stuff and researches. So check them out. store.blockstream.com and use code The Lots Project for 10% off, and it makes it a great deal. So check out the Blockstream Jade and Jade Plus today. Let's see what else is on my list here. It's a bunch of news bullshit. my take on a bunch of news bullshit. Let's start with Venezuela. What's going on in Venezuela? We dropped some bombs on them. I think it was Saturday morning. Was it Saturday, Friday morning? One of those days, a few days ago. We decided the Cheeto in charge decided to drop a bunch of bombs on Venezuela strategically to take out some air defense, to take out the power, to shut the lights off in the main city there. And they took their president and his wife. At least they took his wife too. They didn't leave her behind. But they are basically arrested him, I think, on a violation of some old gun charge or old gun law or something. I don't know. I've been seeing different reports of why they took him and the big picture, or the actual what gave them the right. What gave them the right to go do that? This is a weird. It's not weird. This is textbook United States, but this is it. It's always a weird situation. The dude down there in Venezuela, he wasn't a good person. He wasn't. The people in Venezuela were suffering. The people in Venezuela had a dictator that kind of that wasn't really a good thing. So when the U.S. comes in and extracts somebody like that, or a Saddam Hussein, or a Gaddafi, or see a pattern there? It's hard to say, I'm so mad they did that, until you realize how it's going to go. The people of Venezuela are going to benefit so much from him being gone. It's going to end the suffering of the people in Venezuela. Do you remember this? I don't know. I'm old enough to remember the 90s, where Saddam Hussein had weapons of mass destruction that were going to destabilize the whole Middle East. He was going to be a madman with a bomb. That we need to go get him immediately. We need to get him out there. The people, he's terrorizing the people of Iraq, and Iraq's still a shithole. We removed him. Then what happens? There's a power vacuum, and we obviously are in the middle of the pot, along with other people, other influences, and those are yet to be determined in this case with Venezuela. With other intentions. I'm looking at it and I'm saying, okay, they got a shitload of oil. They're partners, strategic partners with China, with Russia. We are not. What possibly could we benefit from? Oh yeah, now there's one of the world's largest rare earth mineral deposits right there on the border of Venezuela. What possibly could we have for meddling with Venezuela? Oh, it was their drug trade. That was what it was. Oh yeah, we were blowing up Venezuelan ships in the middle of the ocean as they were just scurrying across the ocean. Yes, with probably a lot of drugs on board. I have to assume they were running drugs. Does that give them a right to just open water, smoke them with a missile? Maybe, maybe not. I don't know. I don't think they should be killing anybody like that. No trial, no nothing, no due process. They don't even know if they were actually coming to the United States. We talked about that a couple weeks ago. Hey Pip, good morning. Thanks for stopping in. Says, dude, the cabin build looks awesome. Thanks, I appreciate it. It'll get there. It'll get there. Hunter says, how high did the fish get? I don't know. What were they transporting? Supposedly fentanyl. That's a lot of fentanyl. They're bringing it in the boatload. The fish are doing the fentanyl slump. They're just suspended in the water. The whole Caribbean, all the fish in the whole Caribbean are just stuck in the water, all like bent over and crooked. But anyway, we took the Venezuelan president and his wife. So what happens now? They've installed their vice president. Basically, said he was kidnapped. There are other people saying they're kidnapped. I've seen videos in from Venezuela of people celebrating in the streets. I've also not in the streets quite yet, but I've also seen them protesting that he's been taken. What is real and what is not at this point, who the fuck knows? With AI on the internet, with generative AI and the videos that it can populate, the reuse of old footage of a nondescript Latin American country having a rally for fuck's sake for anything could be used to say, oh, this is protesters against us taking him, or these are protesters be glad he's gone. You don't know anymore. We talked maybe a year ago about you don't know what's real anymore online. It was bad before, but add in AI and seeing is not believing anymore. You might think it is, but seeing is definitely not believing. And it's only getting worse. So what's really happening on the ground in Venezuela? I don't know. I can't be sure. What do I think is going on in Venezuela? We're probably trying to sneak in on their oil, on the rare earth minerals, use it as a strategic property against China, against Russia. There's a whole lot of shit going on there, a whole lot of geopolitical shit. But in the end, we went and kidnapped somebody. We're holding them. For what reason? I don't know. Was he a direct threat to the United States? Maybe. If he was partnering with China and China had, excuse me, China or Russia have base operations in Venezuela, I don't know. Pip says it's totally not a regime change. Right? We're not going to install a pro-U.S. regime or try to install democracy like they did in Iraq. We'll see. We'll see what happens. So that's a developing story. If you're listening to this and you hadn't seen anything about it, congratulations. You must be doing a no news January. Like instead of a dry January, need to do a no news January. That'd be a good thing. And I'm a little unversed on a lot of these subjects because I really don't dig into the news anymore. I'll see passing headlines. I'll dig enough to be aware with what's going on. But man, I just can't stand the bullshit anymore. I can't stand the pattern of bullshit anymore. So this is going to be an ongoing story. I'm sure we'll talk about it again sometime. But anyway, just be aware that the Venezuelan president was airlifted, not by his choice, after we dropped a bunch of bombs. Whatever you want to call that. But speaking of the same old bullshit patterns, Somali immigrants in Minnesota. Got 10 minutes here. Where do I start? This one hits home a little bit. This one, okay, so I spent 20 years in Minnesota before hitting the road in the RV and kind of relocating down here to Hunter says, I like how he said, come get me, bro. And then to wake up to a rubber duck squeak and 6 shadows with guns pointed at you. I mean, you have to realize the capabilities of our military. I'm not saying that they're not operators for sure. Whether I agree or not with what they're doing, how they do it is pretty fucking impressive. You have to give credit where credit's due. The guy's infiltrating his house, his palace, and taking him into custody. They're not making the decisions. They're just fucking badass operators doing their job. I guess it's one of those. It's a paradox for a anarchist and somebody that doesn't believe in killing brown people to, take it out on the guy doing it when he's following orders. Or is he just following orders? It's a lot of shit. It's a lot of shit. It's a big contradiction in your brain, whatever. Mike's Homestead says all expense paid trip to New York. Yeah, it was some of the memes are phenomenal with the picture of him on the Iwo Jima. So, and by the way, I had pictures of the Iwo Jima swinging into St. Croix a couple weeks ago. I think it was a couple weeks ago now. Must have been taking a little R&R before heading down to extract him from Venezuela. Pip says fucking pipe hitters for sure. I mean, these dudes are like, I'm glad they're not coming for me. I would just piss my pants and sit in the corner and rock until they picked me up and loaded me on the boat. So Somalia, little Somalia in Minnesota. So in the 20 years I was in Minnesota, I was kind of there for the beginning. Can't remember what year it was that they started. Catholic Charities, Pip says they're not coming for me yet. If the lights go out, if there's a flashbang, the lights go out and they come back on and I'm gone, they got me. At some point a while back, I think it was in the early 2000s, Catholic Charities in Minnesota started importing Somalian refugees by the fuck ton. It started fast and it continued. Basically, I couldn't figure out why they were bringing them from one of the hottest climates on the earth to one of the coldest climates in the United States. Like, you would have thought that relocating them to the desert of Arizona or someplace would have been a more climate-friendly transition. Anyway, they brought a bunch of Somali refugees to Minnesota. Probably because the welfare system was one of the easiest and most beneficial to bring them. Started populating, I think, a large majority in what would that be? No, it's in Minneapolis, next to the river, and then a large population in St. Cloud, Minnesota, which I was kind of close to, and have worked in over the next 15 years before we left. It's always been a hot topic of conversation in Minnesota. Right now, the Somali daycare fraud case is in the news. Oh, it was in the news. Now that the Venezuelan president's been kidnapped, all of a sudden it disappeared, and no one's really talking about it anymore. It was weird. They started exposing all this stuff, and then it's gone. Shiny thing. But anyway, long before this $9 billion, Pip says, why? Because of fraud. It's little sounds. Anyway, since they've been there, man, there's been whispering of fraud from that community, and scamming, and basically disdain for um, disdain for the laws, the rules, and the regulations of the United States. Basically, I've heard from the mouths of babes, from some Somali refugees themselves. We don't have to listen to the laws here. They're treating it like Somalia, a lawless, just do what you want, do what you can get away with. This isn't all Somalis are bad, blah, 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 whatever. As a whole, there is an air of untouchability to them, in my experience. And I've interacted with quite a few different groups, locations, and some at work. I served papers when I was serving legal documents. I served papers to a lot of Somalis. I worked with them in different factories. I've interacted with them as employees of businesses I frequented. This isn't I ran into a Somali guy once and this is how he acted. This is a long-term interaction with a group of people and making evaluation. And I know you don't make evaluations on the whole, but when the whole is acting in kind, you got to look for the exceptions. And I've met some decent Somali guys, couple. Most other African immigrants that I've run into can't stand them. Let's put it that way. Take it for what it is. Pip says now it's past 11 billion. But anyway, along the way, there's been many documented cases. There's been many people screaming at the top of their lungs about all sorts of fraud. It's just not the daycare fraud. There's all sorts of different public systems that either they came up with a way to defraud, or I'm curious if, and I have no proof of this. Am I breaking news here? Just Brian's fucking gut. The people setting them up after coming here are well versed in the workings of charitable organizations and available funds for people needing them. One of the original scams, frauds that I was aware of was basically business loans and tax-free business loans and all sorts of sweetheart deals for refugees to help them get their feet under them when dropping them in Minnesota. And they basically would just take the money and run. Take the money and send it back to Somalia, and the business closed, blah, blah, blah. It was a racket that happened quite a bit when I was there. Talked with people that partook. I served papers for people getting sued for different things, kind of involved in the same arenas. So it happens. There were all sorts of other little scams here and there that you heard of. The daycare thing isn't new. They were talking about that before I left Minnesota 3.5 years ago. So the shock on people's faces when they were like, "Oh my God, they're scamming! What? Oh my God!" I was just like, "Not news to me. This has been a decade at least in the making." So I wasn't surprised. What made me laugh, though, and the thing that I was actually wanted to talk about today, and we'll talk about it here real quick and then wrap up, was after they've been caught. And then they play dumb. No. And then the citizen journalists are starting to expose the locations and everything. There was the break-in. This was my favorite of the whole story so far, following it, because I wasn't shocked or appalled or anything. I knew this shit was going on, so I'm not surprised. The $11 billion now that it's at, that's a little shocking, but it is nothing that I couldn't fathom for sure. The break-in at the daycare center, though, what a, like, literally, you could have had somebody in your community literally break in legit and pretend to steal shit. But you tried to set it up. Like, I saw analysis of these photos that they posted online of where the criminals broke in, how they got in, the things that they did, and miraculously they stole enrollment and employment records. Pip says the guy their interview was wearing $2,500 glasses. Well, when the fraud runs thick, the spending gets loose. I was looking at these pictures and I'm thinking this is goofy. And then I saw a bunch of people that were analyzing, like construction guys, like thieves, and they're like, yeah, no. But first of all, who the fuck breaks into a daycare to steal enrollment records? What good would that do? Now, first of all, I'm guessing they all have the same name and the same birth date, if there was any enrollment records. That just so you know, that's how it kind of rolls when they drop refugees in. They have no documentation. They have to give them a name and a birth date, and it usually is January 1st, and they all have a similar name. I'll tell you that. Trying to serve papers when everybody has the same name and birth date is very difficult and impossible to fill out an affidavit that you got that served to the right person. There's another way that you can kind of get around fraud. But anyway, who's stealing enrollment records at a daycare? First was the first red flag. And then looking at the way the people broke into this place was phenomenal. It just shows the arrogance. It shows the we're untouchable kind of attitude. Or it shows that just really how naive they are, that they thought that they could knock a little hole in the wall and bust a door frame and, oh, we got robbed. Go away. We don't need any investigation. But anyway, as that story's rolling, as the whole fraud thing's rolling, boom, Venezuela. I wasn't sure if Venezuela is definitely, or I'm not sure if it's actually a false flag. I don't know if it's a distraction, but there are plenty of things going on in the world right now that this flashbang of picking him up the way they did and extracting him, getting everybody talking about Venezuela, can draw attention away from a lot of things. Silver, Somali fraud. I could go on, but we're already 2 minutes past the hour. Guys, 2026 is going to be a crazy year. Lots of shit going to go sideways. So get your stuff in order, figure it all out, and stick around for the show and enjoy my odd take on things. I appreciate you hanging out today. I hope you had a great new year. I hope you enjoy the first show of the year. And we'll roll on weekly still every Monday. Hope you have a busy week. I think everybody's getting back to their normal swing of things past the holiday break and all the vacations and the not knowing what day it is and moving back into that normal schedule. So hope if you've had your resolutions, hope you're holding strong. If you need any help with that, head on over to the Lots Project chat on Telegram, t.me. t.me/lots chat over there on Telegram. Hope you have an awesome week, and we will circle back with you next Monday.